Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I'm doing a new video. I'm finally catching up on the Colors of the Month challenge. If you watched some like the Venom or Kingpin that I did, or even the Joker one I did a while back, this is the continuation of all that. This was a Patreon reward, but since Patreon doesn't really work well for me, I decided to scrap it and just do the videos here. So what you're seeing right now, I'm doing Colors of the Month from February, and this time I'm doing the DC bad guys, because I've done the Marvel ones and now I'm working on the other side of them. So this one is going to be Scarecrow. The colors that I was using this month was R22, E27, and E13. So you'll see how I incorporate all that. So right now I'm just doing the sketching out really loose depiction of the Scarecrow. I'm a lot more influenced from the animated series. As you can see, he has that really crooked smile, but and I have a couple little loose teeth popping up, but a lot of it has to do with the stitches in his mouth, just to make it my own. I didn't give him the hat just because I wanted to have his face be really, really big on the canvas, and to put the hat on there I think would have been a little bit too much and wouldn't fit the page. So right now I'm using a not Prismacolor, Micron pen to do the outline, just the thickest line I can for the thick part for the outline. Then I'll just go in with another marker and do all the finer details. So you see I just jumped into a 1 just because doing that thick 3 didn't really work out very well. But yeah, as I was saying, I was really influenced by the animated series Scarecrow, which I think is the coolest depiction. I think he was the creepiest looking Scarecrow of all the other depictions of the Scarecrow. You can say probably a lot of people's favorites is probably Batman Begins, just because I'm sure that's a lot of people's first introduction to that character was on that guy. But yeah, me being a 90s kid, of course it's going to be the animated series. A lot of my favorite Batman depictions is from that cartoon. A lot of the other movies or other TV shows, anything that's come up before or after doesn't touch that show. So right now I'm just putting in a couple loose pieces of straw popping out from his noose tie that he has. I really like that idea that they put in, was to give him a tie, but it's actually a noose. That was really cool little concept. Yeah, and just there's a little bit of the extra fabric from his mask popping out from underneath. Almost acts like a collar. It's all business with Scarecrow. Yeah, if you're wondering why this is February and I haven't touched it in a while, just things get busy. People get busy. Life happens, and can't really control a lot of that. So I wanted to do all this stuff, but of course I was trying to decide what to do with my Patreon and what I wanted to do with other projects and other things were popping up. So I was like, I had to put that a little bit on the back burner, focus on the Marvel characters that I was doing, because that's what I owed. I haven't done the past couple months just because A, it was super busy, and B, I couldn't find some of the colors. I didn't actually have them, nor did any of the stores, so I was kind of pooched on that one. But I think I should be able to get them back, and you have a good solid couple weeks of me drawing this stuff and give you guys commentary on my process. Excuse me, my process on working on this stuff. Sorry about that. I have a little cot of blueberry. Just made a blueberry smoothie for my breakfast, so I'm working on that as I'm talking about this. There you can see the form of that really crooked smile. Some protruding teeth coming off on his left. Now just going through it touching up any kind of details I can do. Don't want to do any heavy blacks right now, just because I'm going to be going over it with the markers. Some of it might bleed. You'll see a little bit of that happen a little bit later. And I tried a little trick just to see if I can make it work. Didn't work out the best, but I'll point it out when I get to that section. Now just putting in some line work for the details on his noose. When it comes to comic books with Scarecrow, I don't know if there's anything that's really noteworthy for his appearances. He's kind of just always been a one and done kind of character. Just he pops up, does a little thing here, and then goes away. So I'm racking my brain right now trying to figure out if there's any kind of books you guys should check out if you haven't with the Scarecrow. But yeah, I'm not coming up with anything right now. You can always check out Hush. He's in that one. That's always a good pull. He was in a story by David Finch on Batman: The Dark Knight a while back as a New 52 book. You could check out some of that stuff. David Finch does a really good Scarecrow. You should definitely check that out. And right here, I wasn't gonna do a nose, but I kind of did a little bit of a shape of one. Just because it was looking a little bit bare, and the way I was going to color it, it was going to look bare. So I just wanted to give a little bit more dimension on him, and have a little bit more details using the ink instead of the Copic markers to give him that detail. So yeah, so just thickening out some lines, do a little more hatching in and around there. Just give it that burlap feel. Alright, and there's a good old eraser. Getting rid of all those pencils. I've been really lucky with this one eraser. It's an old eraser and it doesn't smudge, it doesn't do anything to the ink. So I've been really lucky with that stuff. Wish I could figure out where I got that eraser and how I did it, so. Alright. So now we're starting with the R22. So that's gonna be kinda like my one main light source and my rim light. It kind of has lights coming from his one side and a little bit in the back, as you'll see when I get there. So just blocking out where the light is hitting him the most, and then get that creepy effect. So yeah, so you can see I'm putting the rim light right there. There'll be more on his noose and part of the back. So yeah, not too much red. So now I'm doing the E27, which is a nice brown. So now I'm just blocking out where there's going to be no light. It was weird on this pen. I think it's fairly new. I think I bought it specifically for this challenge. And on not on this side, but the side I was just using the brush section, a lot of ink was popping out of it. So it was almost like it was staining the paper a bit, so I had to be careful in case I pressed a little bit too hard, and then just a whole big blob of brown Copic ink would just fly all over the place, just ruin everything. Yeah, nothing too fancy. I wanted to do it a lot quicker and make it look menacing, because he doesn't have a hell of a lot of details on his face. That's why I wanted to do a lot of ink on his face. Play around with that. But you can start to see now where he's taking shape and taking form. Yeah, it's almost like he has a light source coming from the front of him, front to the one side, and then he has another light source coming near to the back, and because his left side is kind of pointing towards the back, and he's 3/4 of the way turned. So now here's the E13s. This will be the color of his burlap sack face mask deals. And it works actually, it blends really well with the red. So once I get back to that red, I can blend it a little bit better. You can see a lot more You can see the red pop out a little bit more, but it blends really, really well. It's a very good complementary color to use with the E13. Make sure I don't color his teeth, because that'd be weird. That was the one thing. I was tempted to grab a yellow just to put yellow teeth. I don't want to give him yellow eyes too, but I decided to go with red because I got it and stick with the 3-color scheme. And I don't count black as a color just because I used it for the inks, and that's just for embellishing stuff. And yeah, I'll get to that whole thing I was telling you about, the one little trick I tried. So yeah, as you can see, I'm popping the reds a little bit more, adding more red to the part I just blocked off. Coloring the straw, which was difficult. Trying to get in those little things. Yeah, if you have any suggestions from Scarecrow comics, let me know. I can take a hunt down. Maybe I already have them. It's just not popping up in my head right now. Let me know your thoughts. Alright, so I have a black Copic marker. I think it was on its last legs. I think I have to do a refill. Because yeah, you can see right there, it was not going. So, since I knew it was getting dried out, I tried a little bit in there to kind of give it a little bit of a shade. So since it's a very, very dry marker, it kind of gives this distressed look. So I added a little bit of that to certain sections just to give it a little bit of texture, give it a little bit of a different feel, have them stand out a bit more. So I just used one of my microns just to color in the black. So it wasn't a whole hell of a lot, and a lot of it was very small little spots, so it wasn't too difficult to color it all in. Yeah, usually at this point now you can really see how it's turning out. Yeah, and you start to see the menace of them. And really creepy in here. And the fact that I was doing this for February is really funny. You'd think I'd do this something for October. But the colors just worked out really, really well, so I really wanted to do it. So I'm just going in with the number 13 again over some of the red. Let's make the eye a little bit more circular. So yeah, so that's how it's looking. And I'm just taking a look at it. It's like, oh, what the hell can I do? Like, it just looks kind of bare. So I just go in and I start adding some E27 into the background. Kind of give it it's almost like some straw kind of tree in the background. That's the one thing I always have difficulty trying to do, is doing for pieces like this, figuring out what to do for the background. I had the same kind of problem with the Joker until I just decided to put a whole bunch of ha-ha-has in the back. And it worked well for that one. But yeah, so most of the time I have a lot of trouble figuring it out. So there's your light source. It's going to have just a nice red sun popping out from the trees. Just thickening, doing that whole black marker trick just to kind of differentiate between Scarecrow and the back. And I'll do another trick in a bit to really help that out. Because it kind of looks like it's part of the piece. So, took a white gel pen and just quickly did an outline of him to go against the background. And you can start to see him really pop now. Yeah, if I would have known better, I would have figured that out beforehand. That would have made it so much easier. But that is it. That is the Scarecrow for February. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for another sketch card on most likely Wednesday, and another Copic Colors Color of the Month challenge video coming up soon. And yeah, I'll be doing some new stuff coming up in July. I might be doing this mega vlog very, very soon, so stay tuned to that. Please like, share, and subscribe to stay notified. I'm trying to get to 100 subscriptions in the next little bit, so please tell your friends to subscribe so I can get that personal URL, and it'll be so much easier to get people to follow. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great weekend.